Hey guys, Dadtries, and this is Cataclismo. This is a strategy game with some real-time strategy elements, but you spend actually a lot, if not at least half the time playing actually paused, which is where you do the majority of your building. You can pause the game and start building your base with the resources that you've collected just by kind of expanding out. It has a big like Age of Empires kind of feel to it, so you're doing a lot of the same things. You're building houses to increase your population cap. You're building barracks to train troops and upgrades. You're just gathering resources and building troops, building a castle, and defending yourself against the army of naked mole rats that will come and attack your encampment, trying to destroy your town center. Or what do they call it in this? It's a citadel. So if your citadel falls to the naked mole rats, then you lose. I think the first thing I want to mention is that I really don't like the animation style. I was hoping that it would make up for it in gameplay, but it really doesn't do it for me. Not a big fan of how this one is animated. But figured, hey, maybe the gameplay will make up for it. Some of my favorite games have some pretty crappy graphical UI and just crappy graphics overall. Getting into this one, the campaign is pretty boring. I'll be honest. You kind of explore around. You have your one main character, Iris, and you walk her around with some of your troops, and you're looking for resources. And then eventually it'll say, "Oh, we need this area real bad. We need to defend it. But in order to defend it, you need to gather the resources so you can raise an army." But you can't raise an army because you're under a constant onslaught from naked mole rats. So what do? You build some walls to protect your buildings that make the army, but then the mole rats just tear down your walls every single night. So then you have to keep rebuilding your walls, so you have to mine more stone and minerals, and then you need to make wood so you can get to the top of the wall, so you can make them higher, so you can put your troops up there so that the naked mole rats can take out the first friggin' stone underneath your wall and collapse it so all of your army falls to the ground, and rinse and repeat. I think what makes it not fun is it's a lot like building with blocks, and you've got an older sibling, and every time you get that 10th block up, and your tower starts to do the sway, and you're starting to feel a little bit proud of the thing you've done, and then your sibling like throws a teddy bear across the room and crashes your castle, and then now you're pissed off, and your parents are just like, "Well, just build it again. You did such a good job." Okay, and then do that repeatedly, okay? And then you're just expected to be okay with it and have fun when all you're doing is you just build a tower and it gets knocked down. You just build the tower again, knowing full well that tomorrow it's going to get knocked down again. But then as you go on, you actually kind of chip away at the objectives for that particular mission, and then eventually you beat the mission and you are awarded some skill points that you can use that follow you from mission to mission. So you can upgrade Iris, your main character, you can upgrade your base units, you can upgrade your buildings. There's a few different things you can do, and those upgrades follow you along from campaign to campaign, or from map to map within the campaign. And I do recommend, if you buy the game, play the tutorial at least. So start the campaign, that's going to give you the tutorial. It's worth playing that just so that you can kind of get the feel of how the game works, and then once you've kind of got your wings about you, go off and do the endless mode or scenario builder or something like that. Endless mode is a little better, which endless mode is kind of your real Age of Empires feel. So endless mode, it dumps you in with a randomly seeded map, and it's kind of a roll of the dice on what you get for resources near you. Your big resources are wood, stone, minerals, and oxygen. Oxygen you can just extract from the air, building these oxygen extractors. In my opinion, it's a little too heavy on the oxygen, because you end up running out of space until you can build some of the new, bigger oxygen generators or more efficient ones. But you end up with a camp just full of these oxygen generators, and they're kind of ugly to look at. The whole game is ugly. The one thing that's not ugly is the castle building when you start building up some of your walls and stuff. But other than that, everything's not much to look at. The environment's kind of meh. The castles are cool. The castles are cool to look at. I also like that while you're playing, you just hit space, and that kind of stops everything, and you can build, which is neat. So even right in the middle of an invasion, so if you're being attacked by the mole rats, you can pause it, and if they knock down one of your walls, you just pause it and build a new wall. As long as you've got the resources, they haven't taken out your city expansion torches, and you have a troop kind of within range that can see it. You can just build a replacement wall. So that's kind of neat. I don't think I've played a game quite like that. I mean, obviously there's a lot of games that will let you like put down blueprints, and then once you unpause it, your pawns will go and work on those blueprints. But this is, you pause it and you're constructing walls, and they're instant. They're right there. Building does take a little bit to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's okay. I wish that you could build from the top down. I mean, obviously it's paused, so gravity hasn't really taken effect. But if you build something and then delete the things or reclaim the things under it, it's gonna turn red and start shaking to show that there's no support underneath it. And if you unpause the game, it's gonna fall. But I wish you could start at the top. Like, let me layer things. Let me build from the top down. I would have a much easier time doing that. But that's unfortunately not something you can do at this point. And I picked this one up, so it just recently released. Let me check here the day that it came out. It came out July 22nd. I picked it up a couple weeks ago, and at this point, I've got 15 hours into the game, and I paid $24 for it. It was on sale when it first came out. And yeah, guys, I gotta be honest, it's just not that fun. It's not $25 worth of fun. The normal price is $30. It's definitely not $30 worth of fun. There's other strategy games that just do it better. This one misses the mark for me. I know that it's going very positive right now on Steam at 93% at the time of recording, but I couldn't wait to be done playing it. My only regret is that I'm in it too far and too long now to be able to refund it. It does run on my Steam Deck as long as you dock it. You got to play keyboard and mouse. There is no controller support. So natively out of the box, it's not going to run in handheld mode on the Steam Deck. You got to use a dock, keyboard and mouse, but it will run it just fine. I ran it at 1080p on a monitor. No issues there. It's just not fun. I don't know how they can get away with saying it's playable on the Steam Deck. Currently, it's listed as playable. I mean, yeah, it's playable if you dock it, but handheld mode was a miserable experience. So I don't know how they got away with that one. But the stone walls that you make get run through by the mole rats pretty quickly. You end up with a lot of area to defend with not a lot of units. The units actually are quite pricey early game, so you end up spread out really thin. And I mean, probably all the things I'm describing right now is a skill issue, and I mean, I'll own that. I suck. The game's pretty hard, and I was playing on medium. I got my ass kicked pretty quickly in the endless mode. The few times that I tried that, I probably played 3 or 4 games, and I didn't get far. I like the point buy system, so every time you finish a wave, you get points to unlock new tech for your base. You just always maxed out on something. Either you don't have the population cap, or you're maxed out on military units, or you're out of oxygen, or you're not generating enough oxygen. And it's just, yes, that's the balance you're trying to play with the game. It's just, it's so hard to balance and know that your colony is still growing, and then the waves obviously get more difficult incrementally. And I don't know, I just found that I didn't have enough troops to be able to guard my perimeter, and it was a constant rebuild battle, where I would finish a wave and I wouldn't even lose troops. I mean, I might lose like one guy, one bowman or one something, but a lot of my buildings would have been destroyed. So you just spend a lot of time just rebuilding what you had, and again, it just seemed like I was just spread out too thin. I had to cover too much area, and maybe I'm playing the game wrong, but the tutorial kind of drilled it into my brain that build castle, defend citadel. So that's kind of the strategy I took. Early game, pretty much all you have enough money for is, or resources for, is to build like a shallow, low wall around your base. But the mole rats come and tear it down. I mean, fast, real fast. If you give even like one of the tiny little grunt units even 10 seconds to beat on a stone wall, it's gone. So and your units are slow. Like, it takes them forever to get across the map. So that was really the majority of the gameplay, is just chasing the things around and trying to find out where the hell they've beaten through your wall so you can kill them, and then rebuild everything and do it again. It felt like work. I wasn't having fun. If you do buy the game or have played the game, maybe tell me what I'm doing wrong, if there's a strategy that makes it more fun. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this one. I can't wait to uninstall it and publish the review, and I'm wiping my hands of this one. Not a good one. And that's all I've got to say about that. Thanks for watching. Seriously, leave me a comment. Tell me how to get better. If I can do something differently that will make the game more fun, tell me. I'm more than willing to give it another shot. But out of the box, as it is, what I've learned just from playing the game with doing no other research, nope, I'm all set. Have a great rest of your day.
We're under attack.
Huh?
We are need, that's right.
Post me right away.
No, I won't let it end like this.